Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
If you're gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 279 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, as I say every week, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of choices of things to do at the moment, and I really do appreciate you tuning in to my episode to talk about product architecture today. If you're a first-time listener, then super welcome. Excited to have you here. And if you're a long-time listener, you will know that the show notes for this podcast can be found at all the W's, social media and marketing.com.au/279. Why would you need the show notes? Well, sometimes you want to read something rather than hear it. Sometimes I talk about a link and you're like, I'm driving a car, or I'm out walking the dog, or I'm in the bath. I can't write down that link, and therefore if you go to the show notes, you will find all the links in there. So that's why I say that every week. Before I get into talking about product architecture today, I'm just wondering, did you get a chance to listen to last week's episode? It was all about creating more leads in your business. I gave 5 examples, or 5 ways you could bring more leads into your business. So if you need more leads in 2024, then get cracking and listen to that episode after, of course, you've listened to this episode as well. As I've alluded to a couple of times, I'm going to talk about product architecture today. And it's something I've been working diligently on since about September or so. So 4 or 5 months at the time of recording this podcast. So starting from scratch, it's a long thought process and a lot of scribbling on paper, designing a process, having a look at systems, and really, and then I have to implement, which I am still implementing. So what have I been working on? Well, product architecture. And a side note, the word architecture has been one that I've never really been able to spell, but I'm almost cured now after writing it so many times over the last few months. It's just one of those words that, I'm constantly asking Siri, how do you spell it? But now I think I've got it nailed. So what is product architecture, Jen? What are you rabbiting on about? Well, it's product design. It's similar to income streams, but it's the product of that income stream. It really starts back with probably one of the biggest questions you can ask yourself as a small business owner, and that is, what do I want my business to look like? What sort of design, what is my business, I guess, design? What do I want that business to look like? And although that might sound like an easy question, for me, 9 months in, it's been a huge question. And I guess that's what's taken so much work. What do I want my business to look like? What's my business model going to be in 2024? And of course, after you decide what business model you want and what you want it to look like, the next question is, how much money do you want to earn? So how much money do you want to earn in 2024? And after you come up with that figure, the very next question is how. How consists of what income streams you are going to use to make that money. And in many cases, how then becomes the products that you have to sell in order to make that money, in order to have the business that you desire, and that have that business model that you've set out to have as a small business owner. Now, it doesn't matter if you're the product, such as, coaches or mentors, or whether it's a digital product, such as a course, or whether you sell a physical product. It's still a product. We're still talking about product architecture here. So perhaps this might make a little bit more sense to you if I tell you a little bit about the process that I've been going through over the past 4 months or so. And a bit of a side note here, if you're thinking, Jen, this really isn't for me as a small business owner, then I really want to stretch you and have you think of this again, because it is so you. And it's so something that you need to be thinking about as a small business owner. And if you're not thinking about this sort of stuff, then this could be one of the reasons why the business just isn't moving the way you want it to be. I'm not saying your business isn't profitable, but maybe it's not the business design that you want. It's not this isn't the business I set out to have, Jen, when I went into business for myself. This could be one of the main reasons why, because you haven't sat down and really thought through your product architecture and your income streams in order to reach the goals that you want. So, really got to think about these things, and this is what this episode is hopefully going to stretch your thinking about and help you map out that product architecture and those income streams, all based around the business that you want, how you want to have your business, what is your business model. So for me, it all started with my book, Small Town, Big Impact. If you don't happen to know, I wrote a book in 2023 and it came out at the end of 2023. It's a marketing book and it's based on 107 different marketing strategies. And I wrote the book because I was basically tired of seeing so many small business owners only having social media as their whole marketing strategy. It drove me so bonkers that I decided that one solution could be I could give them 107 different ideas. Here you go. Here's my book. Think outside the square type of thing. Of course, if you're interested in a copy of that book, you can find it on my website at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. And I believe that now it's also available on things like Amazon and Booktopia and things like that. But if you come through my website, I get to personalize it for you and send you a cool little gift as well. And of course, it will be quicker to come through my website. All right. So for me, writing a book amazingly was not on the goal list for 2023. It's just something that happened. The story behind it is probably a little bit long-winded for this podcast, but look, it wasn't on my list. It was just something that I guess it's that whole ready, fire, aim that I live my life and run my business by, that the opportunity came up and I took it. So not being a goal that I had in 2023 and being so goal orientated, it really did create some chaos in my business, or at least chaos in my head. I'm not quite sure whether anyone else noted the chaos, but it definitely created chaos for me. And obviously, my book is now one part of my product architecture. It is an income stream now. And in the process of writing the book, I got to thinking about the passiveness of reading a book. You buy a book, you like the book, you read the book, but do you take any action from the book? Do you, for instance, go and find the author on social media and start following them? Do you listen to the podcast they've talked about throughout the whole book? And obviously, I'm talking about business books here. And importantly, as the author and the business owner who now has the book as an income stream, it's like, well, what action do I want the reader to take next to come deeper into my world? Remembering, of course, that many people who will actually buy my book, I've got no idea who they are. They won't all come through my website where I can gather their data, such as their name and email address, and start creating a bit of a relationship with them. People will buy it at a bookstore. People will buy it online, such as Booktopia or Amazon and things like that. So I needed a way to get those people to come potentially deeper into my world. And that's where I started to look at my products, my product architecture. What did I have to sell, or what did I have such as a lead magnet to give away in exchange for their email address and their name? Again, so I can start developing a relationship with them, so I can have them come into my community. So one of the things that I did was I created the 9-week marketing transformation program. And it's exactly what it says in the box. It is a 9-week marketing transformation program that small business owners can buy and do a self-paced marketing course to transform their marketing, to help take their business to the next level. So that was one of the products that was created through looking at, well, what's my product architecture? When someone has read the book, what do I want them to do next? Of course, if you're keen to know a little bit more about the 9-week marketing transformation program, it's on my website. You can just go to socialmediamarketing.com.au and click courses in the top menu there, and you will find it. So now I have in my product architecture, I have a book. I have an online course. Of course, I have myself as the product, as a marketing coach and a digital marketing mentor. And of course, then I have speaking. Speaking is another part of my product architecture. So if we go back to the first question above, where I asked, what does my business model look like? The answer is at the top, speaking, which then leads to book sales, which then leads to my 9-week marketing transformation program sales, which then leads to marketing coaching and mentoring opportunities. Now, my business model isn't quite as linear as that, obviously, because I'm dealing with humans and people come in at all different points of my funnels and things like that. And if I could show you, but it's a podcast, my actual drawn product architecture, you will see that it's definitely not linear, that there's all sorts of different pathways. But in 2024, I really want speaking to sit at the top and everything derives from there. That is the main product architecture that I'm going to push inside my business. And when I say push, I mean that's what I'm going to concentrate as the business owner, as the person who's doing the marketing, is trying to make that product architecture become a reality. And just another side note, if you have a business group, a shire council, or a chamber who might be looking for a speaker this year, I would love you to pass my details on, because that would be super great to come to your area. But also, we could have a bit of a chat in person, which sounds even better. So yeah, please feel free to pass on my details to them. So you might be thinking, Jen, well, what took 4 months to get there? What took you 4 months to create your product architecture? It sounds really quite simple. And I was just like, well, some of it was simple. Coming up with the architecture was simple, but then I had to actually create it. I didn't have a 9-week marketing transformation program. I had to write it. I had to record it. I had to create it. I had to, create sales pages and systems and email programs around that. I had to update my speaker bio, recreate my speaker kit. I had to create a show-stopping speaker proposal document. I had to update my media kit. I had to redesign some web pages. I had to create new web pages. I had to write and create email marketing sequences and welcome sequences, etc., etc. I had to create new lead magnets and so much more. And that's what I've been doing. That's what's taken so long to, once I created the pattern or the business model and put the product architecture behind the business model or in front of the business model or below the business model, depending on how you can visualize that, then I actually had to do the creating. So this is what I've spent so much time doing. And in true Jen style, where I started, I didn't finish. And I've been tweaking and polishing and second guessing myself all along the way. My product architecture are my income streams for this year. Maybe not all my income streams, but they are the majority of my income streams. My income will come from speaking, keynoting, course sales, book sales, coaching and mentoring small business owners around their marketing, their digital marketing, their strategy, and of course now helping small business owners thinking about their product architecture. So I can't encourage you enough to take some time today and sit back and think about your product architecture, your income streams. Are the ones that you have now really going to help you get to your financial goals this year? Is the income streams that you have now really going to be the ones that will help you achieve what it is that you have as a financial goal? Or do you need to add more income streams? Do you need to get rid of some income streams? Like I've had to get rid of some income streams to make room for new ones. And if you do need new ones, what does that even look like? What do you need to create in order to have those income streams be an income stream like me? Do you have, like, I had to create a whole course, a 9-week marketing transformation program that didn't exist. It existed in my head. And if I'm really honest, it's existed on the back of my office door for about 5 years. So it was a really big push for me to get it created so that when the book went out, people scanned the QR code, they actually went somewhere and could actually buy that course. So I hope this podcast has got you thinking. I really, really want this year to be your best year in business yet. And that's why I'm dedicating so much of January's podcast to having you think differently about your marketing, to stretch you a little bit, to get you to design the business that will see 2024 be so freaking fantastic for you and so enormously profitable for you. So I really hope that this episode and the last 3 episodes are pushing that thinking, pushing that envelope for you and opening up the possibilities of marketing. So you with me? Oh, I would really love to have you double down on this. Think about, what is my product architecture? What are my income streams? And what is my goal? What does my business model even look like? Of course, if you need any help with anything like this, you can book a discovery call with me and we can talk about how I might be able to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve in 2024. The link is in the show notes, or again, you can find it on my website. If you'd like a copy of my book, or you're interested in the 9-week marketing transformation program and that sounds a bit like what you need right now, then head to my website, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au, and you'll find them both there. Of course, you can also, like I said before, book a discovery call there. You just need to scroll a tiny bit on the homepage to see that button as well. And remember, you need to ask for help to get help. So if you're listening and you're kind of like, I really need help, well, you need to ask for help. No one's going to fly out of the sky and help you with your business unless you reach out and ask for help, I should say. Of course, I'd love to hear from you in the Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group. If you're not a member there already, come and join. And let's talk about your product architecture in there. Maybe you'll inspire another small business owner, either discussing what your product architecture looks like, or even potentially asking questions around it that I can help you with on the Ask Me Anything days. But that's it for episode 279. If you love this episode and found it valuable, please take 30 seconds out of your day and leave me a rating and review. I would really love that. And if you are listening in Apple Podcasts, can I ask you a really big favor? Because it's been a while since anyone's left a review there, and I would really love for you to leave a review if you listen in Apple Podcasts. It takes a lot to produce a podcast every single week for the last 5 years. And, I really do appreciate those little words that I see come through on my website and through other places such as social media. But it's been a little while since someone's left a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. So if that's you, please do me a favor and go and leave that. If you're not sure how to do it, then just go to the app, find my podcast, and then just scroll past all my past episodes. They're not all there, obviously. You don't have to scroll past 279 of them, but then you'll get to the place where you can leave a rating and review. But that's it for episode 279. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, if we're not social, let's get social on social. You'll find me on just about all the platforms at Jen Donovan. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peep, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.